Why, hello there. Hello, hello, hello. Hi there, everybody. Welcome to a stream. Welcome to a stream. Now, let me say hello to everybody. We've got Lil Smalls, Servalos, Banana Brains, Jackie. Hello, everybody. I am happy to be here. Sorry, I missed stream last week. Oh, yeah, the mask. Let me address this first because people are gonna ask me about this 7 million times. But Clary, thank you for the follow on Twitch, by the way, while I was not streaming. Thank you for that. Um, so I'm in the process of getting electrolysis. And if you get electrolysis, hey Susie, you have to grow out your facial hair, obviously. And I love you all, but I am not gonna sit here on stream with facial hair like present and get ridiculed for that or whatever. I don't know. I'm just super self-conscious about it. Like, obviously, that's why I'm getting electrolysis, but I'm super excited not to have like a facial shadow anymore. Like, honestly. I'm super tired, not sure how long I'll stay. Yeah, that's fine. Totally get it. Sorry that stream is so late tonight. Um I get it. If you want to sleep or whatever, then follow your dreams, you know. I ain't gonna stop you. Um, yeah, apologies for the late stream. It's just the way it ended up working out. Greatest Mielis, hello. Hello. Can everyone is the sound okay? Like I was kind of wondering if I was gonna have to adjust my filters or whatever for audio, but why are you masking? Dry air? I will have to repeat this over and over and over again, I feel like. So if people in chat at some point can start telling people in chat for me so I don't have to answer the question like 7 million times. That would be super helpful. I'm getting electrolysis done. Like I'm in the process of getting electrolysis done and I can't shave. So like I haven't shaved in like a week and like I know that most of my audience would be super respectful about that. Like I'm not concerned about my audience, but it's just personally for my own. It's a little soft volume. Oh, I can turn it up a little bit. But yeah, it's mostly just for my own, you know, peace of mind or whatever, to be honest with all of you. Anyway, yeah, I know people are gonna be like super weird about it probably because, I'm streaming, so it's not like I need to wear it, but it's just how I feel about it. Also, apologies, like I was gonna stream at like 9:30, but I'm using a new program. So I wanted to quickly let you all know that I finally got rid of Adobe. Like Adobe was a parasite on my life for years and years and years. And thankfully I got off of Adobe, but making thumbnails took me a while. And also my thumbnail is like I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's like it doesn't look right. It's like dark, I think. Let me open it. Yeah, there's like a gray over it or something. Electrolysis or secretly Batman. Definitely not Batman because that would be kind of transphobic of myself. Like definitely not moonlighting as a man because that's not I would rather die. When it's super early, I don't have to worry about shaving or putting on a makeup if I wear a mask. Yeah, I get it. Like, I've been wearing a mask around town and stuff because, electrolysis. And I live in Ohio. I live in a red part of Ohio. And people have been giving me super weird looks. I've had multiple people laugh at me in public for wearing a mask. Like, get over it. Like some of these Republicans, it's like, get over it. Like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna concern yourself with what someone else is doing? Like, it's flu season, okay? Like, because it's flu season, it would make total sense if I'm wearing a freaking mask, right? Like, how is that any different than like I don't understand. Here, I'm gonna try to re-export this thumbnail. I just don't understand what happened. I exported it and it came out all gray. Like I just don't understand what happened. So here, I'm gonna try it again. See if I can get it. Oh, okay, my system sounds are muted. I thought you guys heard it for a second. No, it's still doing it. I don't what is going on? Like it took me a while to figure out how to use Affinity, and then now I'm having this weird bug. It's like it's just gray over top of oh gosh, chat. Hello. Adobe makes me so mad because I'm so good with that software, but I hate the company with every fiber of my being. Yeah, so the story on Adobe for me is that like I used Adobe for years, and so I kind of got used to it. And once I got used to it, I was like, oh, this is I guess what I'm just gonna do now. But it's like it's a whole thing, you know? Like, I just I feel dumb, honestly. Like I shouldn't have had Adobe for as long as I did. I gave them so much money because it's a monthly sub and you have to pay it. I just gave them a lot of money and I feel really dumb for it. So I'm excited to not be giving them money anymore, to be honest. But I agree with you. Like I was super used to the workflow. I was comfortable with Adobe products. And when they work well, but I kept having a bunch of really weird bugs. Things were just not working well anymore, and it kind of pushed me over the edge to be like, "Fuck it." Like if they're not even going to have a good working program, like Premiere Pro was giving me so many issues, honestly. I was having so many issues with Premiere Pro. Like it wouldn't like my audio waveform would just not generate, and then like on top of that, it's just like a whole bunch of shit. It was really dumb. Happy time zones from Scotland. I hope everyone is doing well in these troubling times. Thank you. Hey there, Red Fire Blue Ice. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Hello. Welcome. What about people who are sick? Yeah, yeah, I know. How about Melina from Mortal Kombat with a face mask? That's so funny. True. Yeah, I'm wearing a face mask because I'm secretly like some kind of like isn't she like a demon or something? Like what's up with Affinity merging with Canva? Looks like they changed their model or something. I honestly I just started using it. I have no idea. I don't know anything. I just know Affinity is free. That's why I started using it. I'm trying to figure out why there's this big gray like new Mortal Kombat looks good. I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't followed Mortal Kombat in a really long time. I played like the older ones, but hold on. Let me look this up. Affinity export PNG has gray over top. I don't even know how to describe it. Or overtones are commonly caused with anti-aliasing with transparent backgrounds where semi-transparent pixels blend with the default black transparent background, creating a gray edge effect. That's not what I don't think that that's what is going on here. Shoot. This is really annoying. I'll probably mess with this later. Like once I oh wow, there's so many. All right, let me try this. Let me try sending it out as a JPEG. Export it as a JPEG, see if that does anything. Um it looks like the JPEG is better. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let me swap out the thumbnail real fast and then we will get back to the stream at hand here. Sorry about that. I'm just like a little bit of bumpy road stuff because I'm using the program, not really used to it. So da, 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 da. I got Discord for string from last stream. I've been in trans community through a trans ASMR channel. It's been pretty warm and fuzzy. Well, I'm happy for you. Congratulations. And if you want to join our Discord, you're more than welcome. As we get going here, if you guys don't mind liking, you guys, gals, and NB pals, if you don't mind liking this stream, that would be hugely amazing and wonderful and stupendous. I'm going to share stuff, links in the chat. We have like a Discord, we've got all my socials, we got everything going on here. We're almost at 100 followers on Twitch. So if you want to be, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not following me on Twitch and you want to just toss me a follow just for that, that would be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Red Fire Blue Eyes, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, we are going to talk about it. We are going to do, I'm actually going to do a video segment on this stream, which should be pretty funny because if I make a video while wearing a mask, I have a feeling that, like, I might get some, like, I feel like right-wingers might have a breakdown. Like, they might have, like, they might, like, have a mental breakdown seeing me like masked up in a video, and I just kind of hope that there's like a right-wing meltdown over it. That would be so funny. Honestly, it would be so funny. Like, anyway, Newscum is actually MAGA with his transphobia. Yeah, thank you for the $2. I agree. We're gonna talk about it. He's really awful, and I don't wanna like give away my take too early, but I do have a lot of thoughts about Newsom, and I'm definitely going to give those today. We're also going to talk about probably the Kansas stuff. Here, like, I'm going to have to start pulling together stuff. If, hey there, Ava, welcome. Newsom is annoying. I agree. Newsom is like a used car salesman combined with a Patrick Bateman. Yeah. No, he's like obviously a horrible person. And like he is not, I don't want to get into it yet. We will absolutely talk about it. I promise you we'll talk about it. But I want to save all of my ire for when I'm recording the video because because you know what I mean. Like it's a whole thing. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Kansas. We're gonna talk about Newsom. I want to get Aaron in the Morning articles pulled up about it. That way I can have stuff to reference. Okay, so hi there. Hi there. Hi there, Fred. How you doing, buddy, Fred? How is Fred doing? Yeah? Yeah, is it Fred? There's also, hold on. I'm trying to find stuff here. I'm trying to find these articles. Hello, Turtlebird. Welcome. Pivot for the stage. Gavin Loathsome. You need to share that again during the video recording. Yeah, Freddie is here. So a little bit of news on Fred before we talk about more politics. I do wanna start with talking about the war with Iran because I am not gonna record a video about it, but I do want to talk about it. But first, I just wanted to mention Fred is on some pumpkin. I have him on a daily just a little bit of pumpkin to try to help with fiber and stuff like that. It seems to be working. So he's definitely been doing pretty well with his tummy. I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna try some more stuff, of course. Like I'm gonna try some probiotics and some other stuff, but yeah. Didn't know cats could eat pumpkin. Yeah, they sure can. And actually, it's very good for them. And not like, obviously, you don't want to replace their whole diet. Like, he's eating like a teaspoon of it a day. But you can replace up to like 10% of their diet with pumpkin. And it's actually really useful. Like if you're trying to have your cat lose weight, but you don't like if your cat is really food dependent and like would struggle really badly with like lowering the amount of food that they're eating, pumpkin is very low calorie. So you can like substitute 10% of their diet with pumpkin and it'll help them feel satiated, but they'll actually still lose weight. Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. I'm very happy for him. It's been about a week since he started it. So I'm gonna start giving him more as he gets acquainted to it. And then I've also heard that you can take roasted pumpkin seeds, and if you like grind them up real good, like powder them with a mortar and pestle, that's actually a super good additive as well. So I think what I'm gonna probably do is start buying roasted pumpkin seeds, or just like unroasted and roast them myself, and then like crush them up and add it to his little daily pumpkin. Apparently, it's really good for their immune system. It's cute that cats like pumpkins because cats and pumpkins are associated with Halloween. Yeah, like if you have a black cat and you give it pumpkin, that's like it's like makes you feel like Halloween is here even when it's not, you know? Okay, so we'll probably start with the Kansas story. Actually, no, we'll probably start with the Newsom story just because I have so much unbridled rage against Newsom that like I really need to talk about it. Uh let's see here. Yeah. I think Aaron has a pretty good article here. I'm trying not to pre-read it too much. I'm just skimming it, but let me show chat what I'm talking about here. Let me show you this Aaron in the Morning article. Uh, Actually, while I'm not on screen, I'm gonna take off my mask so I can drink some tea. I keep looking down at my tea and it's like I want to sip you, but I can't. Oh my god, delicious. Delicious. Anyway, this is the article that I was thinking about using. So it's basically why so the video is basically going to be about Gavin Newsom is not going to be our guy. Like in 28, I don't think that Newsom is I don't want to talk too much about it, but I just the video is basically going to be about like how he cannot be he cannot be our guy. This guy cannot be our guy. So let me read through this real quick. Da, 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 da. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, she talks about Charlie Kirk. There's a couple points I want to hit. I want to hit Charlie Kirk. Like I want to talk about Charlie Kirk in that interview because that was a big deal. Like that was a very telling moment about like his mindset on gender affirming care on trans HRT sports, all that stuff. He clearly is super uneducated about the whole thing. And so it was really telling that he's just like it's really dumb. Like yeah, they talked about youth, they talked about sports. Okay, so rhetoric quickly turned as policy intersecting federation. And as we've seen before, targeting trans confined to sports entry point, wedge, yes. Aaron, like honestly, I feel like Aaron I feel bad sometimes using Aaron's articles because she's so good and she makes the points so well that like I feel like I'm stealing content from her. You know what I mean? It's like when someone makes a really good YouTube video and you react to it and you sort of just like you just kind of read it or watch it and you're like, "Yep, yep." Like that's how I feel when I read an Aaron article on stream. Like she's just right and like I almost have nothing to add most of the time cuz she's so good at like hitting all the points. You got until 26. Let's see. Oh, what's this? Hold on. Sean Ryan? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so the Sean Ryan was the more recent event. When was this? Appeared on Sean Ryan. Oh, I have that article up. So let's see here. Earlier this year, Sean Ryan, 4-hour conversation. Oh, let me pop open. Oh, thank you people on Twitch. I'm so sorry. I did not see people were chatting on Twitch, but thank you for using it. Hello CDWara. Welcome. Happy to see you here. Gavin Newscum. Newcom? Is that what you call him? Interesting. Sorry, I only had YouTube up. I forgot to have Restream chat up. My bad. My bad. Thank you all for liking the stream, by the way. That's super awesome of you. Please keep liking the stream. Check out the pin in the chat for links and stuff. Okay, but let me just make sure. Uh, 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 oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm reading some of the, like, I didn't even read the full quotes for like what trans stuff not Newsom said, and I just seeing the quotes. It's a little bit triggering. It's a little bit triggering. Oh wait, so I have that one up twice. Okay, so we have a couple articles here. So there's this article right here, which is like an overall article. It goes over everything. So I think I'm gonna read this article, but then I will reference the other articles. I can't find Aaron. I know Aaron had a story on the Charlie Kirk Newsom thing. Is this it? Completely aligns in pocket. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, what I'll probably do is on the video, I'll read this article and reference these other articles, and then we'll have a separate video about Kansas. Okay, cool. Let me take a sip of my tea, and then I will pop back up on screen here. Had to take a little mask break. Oh, Fred. He's so cute. Yes, he is. Fred was I took a little nap earlier. I passed out on my couch at like 6 p.m. and he was snuggling with me for like hours. For like 3 or 4 hours. We were just snuggling on the couch. It was so nice. It's been really like the weather's been really good lately, but today was really cold and stuff. So it was just such a good day to like snuggle on the couch. Hello, Slicey Slicer. Hope your Monday's going well. Thank you. I hope your Monday's going well. Um, does Erin do podcasts? I don't think so. Unicorn Company. Hello. She makes videos talking about stuff, but I don't think she does any live content. Good evening. Newsom feels very disingenuous, like he will say whatever he needs to get elected. Well, honestly, I don't even think that's what it is. Like we'll talk about it on the video, but I don't think he'll say whatever he needs to get elected. I think he'll say whatever he needs to like uh to make the donor class and the capital class like feel like he's not going to shake the boat. Like I don't think he's appealing to a base. I think he's appealing to the donor class. Pibblepunk, hello, Pibblepunk, hello. Uh, 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 uh. No, since I took the mask off and then I was like, like I was chatting without the mask on and then I put it back on. Is there like a big difference in like the sound quality? I wanted to test it before stream, but I honestly didn't. So is it muffled or anything? I'm just curious. Just curious. Oh, Fred. Oh, Fred. Banana Brains loves Freddy so much. Freddy loves you. Freddy loves you. He's such a good boy. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's talk about war with Iran. Let's talk about it. Uh it's stupid. let me start out by saying that. Like this is like all of this is so fucking stupid. I genuinely feel muffled, but it's not impacting the experience. Oh, okay. Didn't notice a big difference. Okay, I'm trying to enunciate more clearly. If she doesn't do live content, then you shouldn't feel bad or like you're stealing her content, especially since you give her credit. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I always give her credit. I just feel a little bit bad because it feels like I don't know, like I could do the work of gathering all these sources and stuff, but she's doing it for me. Um yeah, so obviously this war that we're engaging with Iran right now, it's dumb. It's really bad. But also, has the US officially declared war? No. And I would say probably we will not see a declaration of war like in my lifetime ever again. Because like to declare war, you need Congress. Like Congress has to approve any declaration of war. So like that's why when we went and we kidnapped Maduro, that's why when they went and they did that stuff in Venezuela, um they simply said it was like a law enforcement action. Because if they claim that it has something to do with law enforcement, then it's not an act of war and they don't need Congress's approval. I think that's bullshit, right? Like I think that's bullshit, but um that is kind of just the way that they are approaching it. Here, let me try to make my noise gate a little less. Um hey Fred. Here, I'm gonna change it a little bit. I don't know if I just made it better or worse. So you tell me if the audio got any more clear. I'm just trying to make the noise gate a little less aggressive. Maybe that'll make here. Let me check something. Sounds the same. Yeah, I barely adjusted it. So you want even Vietnam was called a police action? Exactly. Exactly. Like the days of the United States officially declaring war, like that shit is over. Like it's just not going to happen anymore. And I'm convinced that, like that's just the world that we're living in now, and it's unfortunate, but like the US has really given up on even the appearance of like following the rules. Like we have given up entirely on international rules and norms. We have given up on justifying anything that we're doing. It's simply whatever the people in power decide they want to do, they're going to do, and there's nothing you can do to basically to stop that, or there's nothing that anyone internationally can do to hold them accountable. Until the international community responds with absolute rejection of our positions, then we're not moving forward out of this space that we're in. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, actually. It's giga unfortunate. But here, let me read a little bit of chat. Let me remember. The war has been eating at me, especially being around people cheering it on. I'm sorry that you have been around people cheering it on. That's horrific. Like Like, Iran is not a fucking great country. Like, obviously, like, the government isn't great. The country, there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of bullshit. But you can hear the mouse clicks now? Oh, shit. My bad. I have a habit, by the way, of, here, let me put the noise gate back where it was. There we go. When I'm talking, I do this thing where, like, you know how, like, you drag and you get the selection box on your desktop? Does anyone else, like, play around with that, like, way too much? Like, if I'm just chatting with Stream, I'll sit here and I'll just draw boxes around stuff over and over. Like, I will just keep drawing boxes over, like, my wallpaper or something over and over and over. I don't really know why it must just be like a fidget thing. Like, it's like stimming or something. Hey, Randy, welcome. Hey, Andrew, it's good to see you. Uh, they tell us we have no money for healthcare assistance programs, but we have money for wars. Yeah, we have 40 billion to send to Argentina. We have billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to send to Israel for them to commit genocide. We have endless money for wars. But if you ask for any social safety programs, what are you, a damn communist? You know, like, that's the kind of reaction that we get. No punishment for bad behaviors, rewarding the greed and profiteering. Exactly, exactly. That is the issue, is that America, like, no one will stand up to us. And not only will no one stand up to us, but they'll Fred, do you need me to open the door for you? Okay. He's being weird about the cat door. So I opened the door for him in case he needs to get out. Uh but yeah, it's you know, as long as we benefit from the situation and, like, no one's gonna do anything to stop it, that's just sort of like the end of the conversation, unfortunately. We need massive regulation of the rich. Hell, they should be outlawed. They are more harm than good. Yeah, I think that what we have learned over the past few years is that, like, being rich makes you a bad person. Once you get like $1 billion, it rots your brain, it rots your soul, and it turns you into a bad person. Like, to become a billionaire in the first place, you have to be a deeply sick and troubled individual. You have to be absolutely willing to step over the rights and the like, what's expected of civil society. Like, you have to be able to climb over the backs of other people to steal what they have worked for. Ba, ba, ba. Hey, Gwen, welcome to the stream. War. What is it good for? That's true. I mean, honestly, I think that they're hoping, like, honestly, I think they're hoping that the war machine prevents the economy from collapsing. Like, I think that they're hoping that if they spin up the war machine, it'll create, like, a false sense of economic security, because usually during wartime, things ramp up. Like, if we enter a wartime sort of deal and they, like, start ramping up production for, like, missiles and, like, other things, it can make it seem like our production capabilities are increasing. It can make it seem like economically our GDP is increasing. It can make it seem like we're in the middle of an economic boom, but we're not. Like, it's just money moving around because of war. And so it's really unfortunate. Also, hello Grace, welcome. Glad to see you. We have enough for war, but we can't feed the poor. Exactly. It's also tiring. Yeah, I feel it. Um, Hi, why the mask? Hey Quinn. Promise I won't cough on you. It's because yeah, oh, Banana Brain said it. Thank you. Feeding the poor isn't profitable. Wars and genocide are in our messed up world. Exactly, exactly. And you know what's really messed up about that is that like if we had good social safety nets, the economic like the productivity of someone who is taken care of is monumentally better than the productivity of someone who has absolutely no like if you're drowning in debt and your life is a ball of stress and you're miserable and you hate everything and you have no enjoyment in your life, you're not going to be the most productive that you can be. Like you're not going to be this like hyper productive individual. Like it's just not going to happen. And so like if they really wanted the GDP to go up, if they wanted productivity to increase, if they wanted, that kind of shit, then having a good social safety net is really important. It's honestly like with the death of industry, it has really created sort of like a disconnect between like worker productivity um and the economic state of things. Like so much of our economy is fake that like for instance, the middle class, like people have less spending money than they've ever had before. People have less ability to enjoy things than they ever have before. And yet the GDP keeps going up and people and spending keeps going up. But when you look at the numbers, when you look at how it all shakes out, the top 10% of earners are responsible for 50% of all spending. The top 10% of individuals in terms of wealth in our country make up half of all spending. Like that is if you hear that and you don't think that that's deeply sick and wrong, then you're just you're just dumb. Like that just like if you hear that and you think that that checks out, then you need to get your brain checked because like seriously, half of all spending, 10%, 90% of people make up the other 50%. We should be trying to make that, like the 90% of other individuals, we should be trying to get more. It's just, I don't know. Like there's this sort of like balancing act that the rich were trying to maintain for a long time. Like in prime neoliberal era, like when neoliberalism was at its peak, there was sort of like this mentality that like you have to uh you have to keep the middle class satisfied enough so that they don't like want to revolt against you. So like in peak neoliberalism, the middle class had spending money. The middle class had economic mobility. The middle class had housing, availability. Like there were like food was affordable and people weren't spending 40, 50, 60% of their income on rent or on housing. Back in this day and age, people were less likely to be revolutionary and less likely to like to uh to revolt or want revolution. But at the same time, the Freddie, you are like really distracting me. I'm trying to make points here and you're just it's so hard. It's so hard to make a point when this kitty is oh he's so cute. Yes, you are. You're a good boy. Why are you attacking my hand? Why are you doing that? If you want to go play, Fred, you should go play. But I need to do stream, Fred. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the point that I was making is that like there's this balancing act. If the middle class has too much money, too much comfort, and too much like if things are too good for the middle class, then like obviously the rich aren't able to have a boot on our neck. Like for instance, when we had unions, labor power was way way stronger. So labor power used to be actually a thing. Like, people used to have the ability to push back on bad labor decisions or on corporate greed or, slashing benefits or slashing pay. There used to be mechanisms to push back against that stuff. But the capitalist class sort of realized that by putting a boot on our neck, by removing that power, then we have less mechanisms to revolt. And when you have less mechanisms to revolt, especially with modern lazy ass Americans, it's really easy to keep people from doing stuff, from like actually taking action and organizing and asking for better wages and better stuff. Now, if people are too upset, like if things are too bad, if the middle class is too distraught, then obviously there will be revolution, right? So like there's this balancing act that the capitalist class was playing for a long time, where they're like, okay, we want to remove as much power as possible from the middle class, but we want to give them enough crumbs, enough scraps, so that they don't feel like revolting. So that like, okay, yeah, that maybe everyone is miserable and maybe things suck, but at least it's not so bad that people are desperate for change. Like that's basically the game that they're playing. Now, they've sort of like given up on that. Like in the modern era, the past 20 or 30 years, now that we've kind of left neoliberalism in the dust, um the capitalist class got too greedy. Like money took over. Like money took over every sense of anything. Like all that matters is they increase their profits. They no longer care about this balancing act of like, oh, the middle class needs to be fat enough and fed enough to I apologize if that was like an offensive way to describe that. Whatever. But like we need to keep the middle class fed enough so that they like, don't revolt. Like that mindset is dead in the water. Like they no longer care. But kind of the issue with that is that if they don't take care of the middle class, then like if they do nothing to make people complacent, then like a revolutionary mindset becomes more common. Here, let me read chat here. Inheritance is where most have gotten the money. Greed is where they s where they s. I agree. I think inheritance is like if you were from a rich family, I'm not saying that you should get nothing, but I'm saying that like maybe we should, look at like antitrust like tax policies. Like we should try to tax that stuff. A lot of people with their inheritances, they don't get taxed like at all, or they get taxed very little. Stifle the economy while using blame tactics to keep us poor people from seeing it. Yeah. Prices are going to skyrocket because of that trade route Iran is blockading. Yes, the oil and gas prices. Yeah, I'm so glad that we invested all of our infrastructure into oil and gas because now we have no oil and gas. Like it's so dumb. Like if they keep the Strait of Hormuz completely shut down, then like we're going to have an energy crisis the likes of which this country has never seen before. Like we are going to have a complete and totally energy infrastructure collapse. We like I love how Trump invested all of America's energy infrastructure projects and everything. It's all oil and gas and coal. All oil, gas and coal. But now that stuff is threatened, it's like and he's the one who did it. Yes, let's invest all of our time, money, and effort into oil and gas and then bomb the country. Start a war with the country that's like in charge of oil and gas. Inflation and national debt will boom. Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. That's why many of our bus systems are shit, honestly. Scarcity these days is legislated and entirely artificial. That's true. That's so true. That's my life, just no debt. Been blaring that as of late. As the violence of society is just a distraction from our politicians' corruption and incompetence. Yeah, I agree. Welcome, Vigorous Gypsy. It's good to see you. What did Newscum do this time? He didn't do anything new. It's just that Newsom sucks and he's terrible. And we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna make a video about it, but we're just gonna talk about everything that he's done. I wanna kind of like preemptively make my case that like Newsom cannot be our front runner. Like he absolutely cannot be our front runner. These oh, I'm sorry. I can hear my my wallpaper engine. Temporarily blah 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 blah. Temporarily embarrassed millionaire energy if you think that's okay. Think what's okay. Honestly, I don't even know. These few leaders only need AI sex bots because the rest of the world is below their inflated standards. True. My water bill was double your electric bill. Yeah, my electric bill has shot up like like my electric bill has gone up so much the past few years. It's been really, really, really bad. Like more than doubled. My electric bill has more than doubled. In recent history. It's really disgusting. Tons of us are still living paycheck to paycheck, and half the bosses don't want to give raises. Yeah. It'd be one thing if it was earned, but that level of disparity cannot be earned. However, the only way these things are possible is capitalism for the poor and socialism and protectionism for the rich. Oh my gosh, Tandava, that is like an incredibly good point. Yeah, like when it's rich people, they get loans, they get like the what were those loans called? The PPP loans or something? Were they called PPP loans? What were they called? Paycheck Protection Program. Um I think that's what it was, but there was, like, massive fraud. I mean, like, yeah, we give handouts to businesses, to the wealthy constantly, but, like, if you go bankrupt as a personal individual, the government is just gonna let you suffer. They brought in the New Deal. That's what brought in the New Deal. Yeah, the wealth disparity and things getting so bad created a revolutionary mindset in the American population, and that's what like, honestly, FDR, he was just sort of, like, trying to like, FDR wasn't trying to actually change everything, he was literally just trying to, like, prevent a revolution. Like, he was just trying to prevent people from revolting, like, that's how bad things were. And we're way beyond that point at this point. We are sitting in a position that is approaching the early 1900s. The biggest difference at this point is that companies don't pay in company script and force you to shop at company stores. Exactly, but they pretty much do. Like, there's so much monopoly, there's so much accumulation of wealth, with these large corporations. Like you go and you work with a company that is owned by a parent company that owns the grocery store that you go shop at. Like, it's really bad. The point is that Freddie deserves love, and that's more important than any news. That's true. 10%, but lies, damn lies and statistics. But yes, I agree. Eat the rich. Uh, Quinn, I'm not sure what you meant by that, but yes. Um, there is nuance you are missing. I think you know it. I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. What nuance are you talking about? 40-hour work week is labor one. Yes. And it shouldn't even be 40 hours. It used to be 50, 60 hours. Have I read Empire of Normality? It's a great nonfiction book. No, I haven't, but I will write that down. Thank you for the recommendation. Here, let me put that in a sticky note. Boop. What is it called? Empire of Normality. Empire of Normality. Oh, Fwed. You're so cute, Fwed. I got ran over by an electric trolley. True. The middle class is a myth. There is only the working class, the Epstein class, and the discarded. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Apparently, cats can catch COVID. Oh. Bread and circuses, but both of them are being removed. The only way we can get anything started is to stop the capitalism train. I think people from rich families should get a certificate. Tax robots, universal basic income funded. Kitty, you should get nothing, maybe a single piece of property. There's LNG, a sign of oil. There's a reason China has been spreading out the last 15 years, phasing out oil. Yeah, honestly, China has been really intelligent with investing in renewable energy and stuff. Uh, like we made the bad choice. China is going to economically dominate us over the next 10 to 20 years because they spent the past 5 to 10 years investing heavily into renewable energy, where we have been doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down on oil and gas. The sad part of well, it's not real money, it's just on paper, so essentially they're causing pain and distraction for brownie points. Yes, exactly. Their pocketbooks is the only way they'll actually see we are fed up. I used to be a senior officer on a US cargo ship. Any questions about global supply chain? Well, I'm here. Wow. I think it's okay. Petrol shortages are already causing traffic jams here in the UK thanks to Middle East crisis. Holy shit, really? That's wild. Thank you for sharing that, EB the GT. I appreciate that. Kathy Hochul opened up a therapy hotline specifically for rich people. Wait, are you serious? Is that real? I swear to God. Like, they can afford therapy or whatever. A lot of the older, very conservative types in Kentucky are acting almost excited about the Middle Eastern wars for prophetic reason. Oh my gosh. Trying to bring back the company's script. No one's revolting. No one in the government is trying to stop a revolt. Nobody's revolting and no one in the government is trying to stop a revolt. I feel like you missed the point entirely that I was trying to make, but okay. A good phrase is socialize the losses, privatize the gains. Yes, exactly. 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 Revolt takes many faces. Exactly. Sorry, I'm still trying to catch up on chat. This is the advantage China has been. Zektafin, welcome. This is the advantage China has with not everything being relying on capitalism in the private sector. Exactly. They're able to make the government is able to make now like they're extremely domineering, but like they like like I'm not saying China is an amazing country, but at least they're more responsive to like infrastructure concerns, or like they're more responsive to like changes in the global supply economy. Like, well, I mean, maybe not in terms of like manufacturing and industry that way, but like they've been investing in the future with green energy and all sorts of stuff. And we're over here investing in gas and AI. So, hey, DeWalt, welcome. 1.2 billion people gives China a larger economic base. That's true. See, you don't realize this, but I actually clicked the subscribe button for Freddie. I would not be surprised. Like Freddie is he's the star of the show, really. Like let's be honest. Like I'm just here to support Freddie. Like he's taking a little break right now, but like, that's I'm just filling in. Born to thrive, forced to suffer. Buy our news, listen to it, worship the blatant lies. You fed your husband. Europe is in hot water with the oil issue since they dropped Russia as a source for oil. That's true. Yeah, that's also important. Interesting fact about Newscum, he is best friends with the Getty oil family if you need another reason to dislike them. I don't know enough about the Getty oil family, but I'm sure they're awful. Electric cars are still massively expensive for anyone who isn't already so-called. Yeah, electric cars are really expensive. The Epstein class is revolting. Revolting, yeah, that's funny. China invested in domestic infrastructure. In China, the government cracks down on the rich, and that is why you keep hearing propaganda against them. The Epstein class is scared of them. Yeah, like that's the kind of the point that I was making is they care more about the health of the country than they do about like economic success, and that's the real difference. Like China is really authoritarian in a lot of ways, but they also like actually care about like infrastructure and like making sure that like, you know, companies aren't destroying the fabric of the country for profit. Average electric car prices here in the UK are 70,000 to 120,000 euros. Jeez. Freddie can't turn on the computer by himself, so he has to have his human do it for him so he can stream. True. If Eurodance makes music, or if Eurodance music makes a resurgence, it's Jover. For a country to be proud, claim the richest ones, they seem like Smiths trying to keep up with the Jones. Yeah. Okay, cool. I caught up with chat. Yay. I want to take a quick break from the mask. If I talk into this mask for too long, it's gonna get like moist. So I'm gonna hydrate. I'm gonna take a quick break here, and then I think we'll probably talk about Newsom next, and then we'll talk about we'll talk about the Kansas stuff. So everyone's able to understand me okay when I'm wearing the mask. Like I can definitely tell that it's a little bit muffled. But I hope that everyone's like, as long as you're all able to understand. That's why you only wear black masks. Yeah, fair enough. I just don't have very many of them, honestly. I only have a couple. Ever since the COVID days are over, I just haven't really had a lot of oh my gosh, thank you all so very much for the likes on the stream, by the way. That's huge. Thank you, Ashlyn, for the hydrate and for the stretch. I'm gonna definitely do that real quick. Maybe I'll stand up actually here. I'm gonna raise my desk real quick. Okay, my desk has been raised. Yeah, thank you for the stretch and the hydrate. Gotta try to get my hips to Kaname. Welcome. Welcome. Your voice is clear except those that lip read or hearing impaired. Right. Yeah. I mean, there's YouTube does like an auto on my videos, YouTube does like an auto caption thing. So it should be it should work even on my content where I'm masked. Let's get to 65 likes. That would be sick, honestly. It's muffled slightly, but I can hear you very clearly. Okay, cool. Like when I take the mask off, I can definitely hear the difference. But I just hope that it's not too distracting. Oh, someone was asking about the name of that oil company. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. What were they called? What were they called? Where is it? Something oil something. Where was it? I scrolled too far. Where is it? I just read it recently, so it's gotta be somewhere. Getty Oil. Okay, yeah. Getty Oil family. So the Getty family is a prominent American old money dynasty founded by George Franklin Getty. Built a vast oil empire through the Getty Oil Company. Born in 1892, Paul Getty became the richest man in the world at one point, amassing over $6 billion, equivalent to $26 billion in 2024. Jesus. He was known for his frugality, even installing a payphone at his mansion to avoid call charges. Are you for real? The family's legacy includes a museum, key family members. Yeah. Yep, they're still going strong, I guess. And then there's Getty Lee. Geddy Lee is the GOAT? I don't know. The term old money is very distasteful to me. Uh, what's what's distasteful about the what do you mean? I'm curious. Geddy Lee is a Canadian musician? Oh, okay. Oh, Rush. Okay. See, I don't know the names of, like, musicians or whatever. So, when y'all, like, reference honestly, like, famous people, that's probably, like, one of my least strong points. Uh, like, I hate idol culture. I really, really, really dislike idolizing people. I think that even like famous people are just people, and we shouldn't put them on a huge pedestal, and we shouldn't like I really firmly believe that we like it's cool to like people, it's cool to like their art, it's cool to like appreciate what someone is doing in the world, but I think that like idol culture is this really disgusting thing that sort of like leads to like fanaticism and zealotry. It leads to like really weird parasocial situations. And like I just don't think you should ever put someone on so much of a pedestal like that. Like no one is that great. Like no one is that awesome that they deserve like that freaking they deserve that, you know? You're thinking Gavin looks like a California raisin in that photo. I'm thinking if you are old money, then it shows that your family has been up to no good for a long time and getting away with it. Yeah, I thought you said you don't like old money. The term old money is very distasteful. I thought you were saying that you don't like it. But you're saying that it's accurate? Is that what you're saying? Fandoms for artists have gone out of control. Famous people is my worst category in Jeopardy. Yeah, exactly. Like I know internet celebrities more than I know real celebrities. Um Old money is those whose families have been wealthy for many generations. Yes. That's how I feel. 9 out of 10. I just end up liking the characters in the media they play. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like I like music. I like here, I'll put on my mask. I will come back on screen here cuz I know people want to see my beautiful face even though I'm wearing a mask. Idol culture leads to electing a fascist as president. Truer words have never been said. Thank you for that, unicorn. That is so true. Yeah, like I fangirl I fangirl more over like obscure artists or like other things. Like I do not fangirl over like actors, like famous people in Hollywood or whatever. I don't like the term because I don't like thinking about rich people. Oh, okay. Okay. I see. I see. Gavin is a Gavin is a GTA politician. If in GTA 6 they don't have some like Gavin lookalike who's just like the big like literally covered in grease, then I will be very disappointed. The leaders we need don't want to be leaders and want to abolish landlordism and police money. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think that one of the biggest issues that we have in the United States right now is the fact that like people that would be good presidents, people that would be good leaders, and people that would be responsible stewards for the future of the country, they frankly they're not selfish enough to pursue power like that. All of chat is parasocial with Leah. Maybe a little. I don't know. I feel like my community blah 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 blah. My community is not that parasocial. Like let me put it like this. Um I have very few people like to try to, like, develop, like, most of you understand that I'm a YouTuber and that, like, this is my job. I have very few people who, like, try to, like, be parasocial with me. Does that make sense? Like, most people don't watch my streams and then go like, "Oh, Leah's my best friend," and then, like, you know what I mean? Like, that does not really happen. So I feel like most people in my community are pretty good about that. I'd say that one politician tied to mystery ghost girl Easter egg in GTA 5 looks like Gavin. I honestly, I never played GTA 5, so so aside from the toxic fandoms or stalkers that idol culture creates, anyone ever get the sense that US celebrity culture as a whole might be a decades-long capitalist psyop on the world's population? Yeah. No, of course. Thank you, the Sun, for bringing that up. Yes, I think that celebrity culture, like, if okay, if you have celebrities, if you have famous people, if you have people who are idols, then you have inherently created a separate class. Like, you have just created the elite, right? You have a group of people that are viewed as, like, better than other people. They're viewed as above other people, and they're treated as such. Like, people treat a lot of famous people like they're, like, gods, or like they're, like, these, like, they're, like, almost like they're, like, religious figures and stuff. Like, people really worship the ground that these people walk on, and that creates a permission structure. Like, oh, these people can be disgustingly wealthy because they're famous, because they're like, people don't complain about Taylor Swift being a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, Taylor Swift should not be a billionaire. Like, she should not have that much money. And frankly, I think it's disgusting that she has let her wealth amass that much. Like, if she was a good person, she would, like, donate a lot of that. Like, she would donate almost all of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's, like, a lack of, like, accountability with people that, like, we like. You know, a lot of people love Taylor Swift and they're on the left, and so they don't wanna criticize her. But, like, she is not above criticism. What if I say Freddie is my best friend? He probably is. The fact that it was atrocious the last term and the debate wasn't even coherent enough to get me to nudge towards his vote always seems kind of. Ashlyn, I'm not sure what you are referring to. I think you might be talking about Gavin. Freddie said I was invited to his wedding. Happy to contribute. Yeah, no, thank you. I remember in the Bob Dylan documentary, some fan got into his hotel room and Bob was pretty freaked out. Well, yeah. Yeah. William Dafoe, or Willem, sorry, I always call him William. Willem Dafoe for president. Um, I don't know anything about his personal politics or anything, but I think that celebrity politicians is just a bad idea. We have a massive dichotomy between the life of workers and the lives of capitalist class. Exactly. Okay, so do you all want me to talk about Newsom? Let's do the video on Newsom. Oh my gosh, we have hit 53 likes on YouTube. That's incredible. Oh, thank you. Shit, I'm gonna screw up pronouncing this so badly. I'm so sorry. Sharina Test? Sharina, is that right? Zarina? I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. We're at 98 followers on Twitch. We're almost at 100. Sick. Super sick. Love that. Thank you. Every time someone mentions Willem Dafoe, all I think about is that scene from what's that movie called? The Saints. Um, oh, what, what is that movie? The Boondock Saints? Is that the movie I'm thinking of? Boondock Saints? Yeah. Okay, yeah. But that movie where he's standing in the road and he's like, "There was a firefight!" Or him in the dress? Yes. No, that movie, him in that movie is incredible. Like, I know Boondock Saints is not supposed to be a comedy, but every time I watch that movie, all I can think is that, like, this is a comedy. Like this is literally like it's I know it's supposed to be serious, like whoever the guy that made it is like wanted it to be serious, but it's so funny. Like the whole movie is so funny. I just like God. I can't take it seriously to save my life. He was good in John Wick too. Yeah. Also, didn't he do hold on. I can't remember. I can never remember what movies he was in. Defoe. He was in something recently. Uh, I know he did something really recently that I watched, and he was like the best. Hold on, I'm trying to see his recent roles. Oh, Nosferatu. In Nosferatu, he was incredible. Willem Dafoe in Nosferatu. Honestly, He made that movie. Like he only had like one real scene in that movie and he did such an incredible job. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So good. Dadzilla, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. You're number 1? Aw, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's really kind of you. Okay. All right, we're gonna record this video. We're gonna do it. So I hope you're all ready for the video. Let me put chat up on screen here. And Nosferatu the rapper? Yes. Hear me out, but Willem Dafoe should play an older Norman Bates. Oh, okay. I could see that. He's a living legend. True. Oh my gosh. Oh, my tummy. Okay. No, it was absolutely a comedy. Oh, okay. Some people think it was a comedy. It's got a few tongue-in-cheek moments that are very intentional. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Tummy ache, stomach ache. Yeah, I'm just like hungry, honestly, is what it is. Um, look, if you're gonna go down the celebrity being president rabbit hole, the choice is Nicolas Cage. Nick Cage for president? Holy cow. Holy. I don't know about that, but maybe. Okay, so let's get going here on this. He loves cats. Well, that's awesome. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do this video. We're gonna talk about it. Put some oat milk in the tea. I don't have any oat milk, but also, this tea would not taste good with milk in it. It's not just like it's not regular tea. It's what is it? It's passion fruit, acai. I can't say that word. Papaya. Yeah. Susie, you can go whenever you want. You don't have to stick around. I understand if you're sleepy, if you're eepy, and you wanna go to bed. Totally understandable. All your dreams. All your dreams. All right. Welcome, Rusty. I will answer your. Oh, thank you, Banana Brains. You are on it. You're on it. I feel like you have that copied into a note and you just pasted it, which is awesome. You're on it. I would still put milk in that, but I respect your perspective. Oh, okay. I wouldn't, honestly. Fruity milk tea is not my jam. All right, let's get ready for the video. I honestly like I have I'm just gonna be like, I just want to warn you all. I'm gonna be kind of angry during this video. I I may rant a lot. I may end up actually being a little bit hostile towards the Newscum guy. Also, my injections are going to my alarm for my injections is about to go off. So let me turn that off so I don't have that go off. Fruity milk tea is one of the foundational techniques of boba tea shops. Yeah, I know. I just don't like it that much. Oh. Leah, probably. What is that? I can't even see what that is. Let me go to Twitch. Is it bigger on is it easier to see on Twitch? Rage? Oh, yes. Yes. I will probably get quite angry. Uh Nick Cage has been bad with money, but Christ Trump, maybe y'all aren't. I don't know. Huh? Wait, what about? What about what? I don't think anyone was serious about the Nick Cage thing. I feel like that was a joke. I feel like that was a joke. Okay, anyway. Whew. Wouldn't Christ be a demigod? Okay, well, there's that's a whole conversation, but we don't need to get into it. It 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 depends. Let's leave it at that. As California, my person to be hostile. He's asleep. Okay. Sorry, I have a hard time like starting the videos. I don't know why. It's like, why hello there and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be talking about why Newsom is not going to be our 2028 candidate. I refuse. I absolutely refuse to have him as our presidential candidate in 28. If you are queer, if you're a part of the LGBTQ community, you should hate Gavin Newsom. You should hate him. And I'm going to spend this video talking about why. I want to explain my reasonings. I want to inform you all so that you don't go into 2028 or into the future thinking that this guy would be a good front runner for the Democratic Party. I don't think that there are a lot of good candidate choices. Like, obviously, like, we're not working with like a stacked deck or anything, but I just think that this guy, like, he cannot be it. If this is our 2028 candidate, I'm just gonna be outright, I'm just gonna be so straight up and honest with all of you. I don't know if I can force myself to vote for this guy. Like, I don't think that I can do it. Like, I genuinely, like, I have always voted for the lesser of two evils. I have always done that. But this might be the first election where I refuse to do that because honestly, I cannot stand this guy, and if I vote for him, it's like voting against my interest at this point. Like, he literally is like a conservative. So we're going to talk about it. Also, I wanted to mention, I know that I'm wearing a mask. Thank you for noticing as well. I'm sure that you have questions about that. I'm getting electrolysis done, and when you get electrolysis done, you have to grow out your facial hair so that they can tweeze it after they treat it. And that's why I'm wearing a mask, because I don't want to have my facial hair visible on camera. And that's just why I'm doing that. So I understand that the audio might suffer just very slightly. It might sound a little more muffled than usual. I will do my best to enunciate as much as I can so that it's not like bad or anything. But I just wanted to be honest with all of you. Like, I just don't want to have facial hair on camera, which is why I'm wearing the mask. Anyway, I have some articles to go over, so we're just going to jump right into all of that. So here we are, and oops. Actually, let me get chat up here. Okay. Oh, it's can't really read. Here, let me. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. So here we are in the article. I'm gonna read this article, but I have more. Like I have a couple other articles that are important, like sort of like similar. All right, so I am going to read this article. I'm going to talk about things, and I'm going to reference the like this is the article I'm going to read, but I have a couple other articles that I'm going to reference as well. Obviously, we're using Erin in the morning. Erin Reed, incredible source. If you're not subscribed to her, if you don't follow what she's doing, you absolutely should because she has the information on there that we need, absolutely need. So, let's just start reading this right now. Also, but I did want to say right off the bat, if you're a Newsom defender, um, like if you think that like we have to back Newsom because he might be the candidate, this is the perfect time to voice concerns about that. So I do see some people in the left community, like some people who are Democrats, maybe more neoliberal, people that have always preached the vote blue no matter who. Like there are a lot of people who are attacking others, like Newsom haters, like Hassan, for instance. Hassan got a lot of ire for basically saying that like he would vote third party if Newsom was the candidate. And like I understand that there are people who think that we have to vote for the lesser of two evils and stuff, but I don't even think that Newsom is the lesser of two evils at this point. Like genuinely, I think that he's probably just as bad. Like he's a neoconservative. Newsom is not a left-leaning candidate. He is a neoconservative. That is that like if you look at all of his policy positions, if you look at everything that he has done, he has behaved as a neoconservative for like all of recent history for an incredibly long time. And so like anyone that he runs against, it's essentially going to be a conservative against an alt-right conservative. And that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. So like we are in the primary stage of things, right? Like we have not selected a leader for the Democratic Party, right? And because we have not selected a leader, like now is the perfect time to air these disagreements. Like I'm over here saying, "Hey, if this is our guy, I'm not going to want to vote for him. I'm not going to want to vote for him." And now leftists, like people on the left, well, maybe not even leftists, sorry, neoliberals can attack me for that and say like, "Oh, how dare you say you're not going to vote for the Democrat? How dare you say that?" But honestly, like it's the politician's job to convince me to vote for that. Like if the Democratic Party picks an unpopular candidate and they disenfranchise and disaffect all of their base, like, it's not my job to vote for a candidate I hate. It's their job to convince me that the candidate is good and worth voting for. And, like, they're not going to be able to do that. Like, they are literally not going to be able to do that. So I think that this is really important to talk about. I think that this is really important for people to talk about. Like, we cannot shut this conversation down. We cannot pretend that like we're not allowed to have this conversation. That is exactly what happened with Biden in the last election cycle. The Democratic Party did this thing where it's like, "Oh, you need to vote for Biden. You absolutely have to vote for Biden or else you're a horrible person." There wasn't even a primary. Like there were no primary candidates to try to like challenge him. Everyone just ran with Biden, and look where that got us. Look where that got us. So I think that it's important to note that like we're allowed to voice displeasure for candidates. And like, yes, ideally, we would have a candidate that would be better to vote for than like JD Vance or whoever they run in 2028. But if they run Gavin Newsom, like I cannot feel safe or confident putting my vote behind this guy. I mean, like, I don't know if this will be in the article or not, but Gavin Newsom got into office and had like he gave CEOs like burner phones with his name on it. And like speed dial phones, basically saying like, hey, I'm here to serve you, corporate class. I'm here to serve the rich. I'm here to serve your interests. And we're going to get into more reasons why you should hate him. So let's start reading the article. If you've scrolled social media lately, you've likely seen Democrats cheering California Gavin Newsom for trolling Donald Trump. Let me try that again. If you've scrolled social media lately, you've likely seen Democrats cheering California Governor Gavin Newsom for trolling Donald Trump. Whether it's his all caps posts, his red hats emblazoned with Newsom was right about everything, or his willingness to spar with the right wing culture war fixations like the Cracker Barrel rebrand, Newsom has been telegraphing his ambitions to be Trump's foil well before 2028. That performance has Democrats buzzing about him as a future national standard bearer, but among transgender people, the mood is markedly different. Newsom inspires discomfort at best and outright hostility at worst. The reaction is telling. In recent years, trans people have learned how quickly politicians can turn on them, and many see Newsom's brand of politics as a flashing warning sign. For those who are not transgender, this piece will explain why so many of us do not look on him as for our future. First, an acknowledgement. Gavin Newsom has proven effective at needling Donald Trump online. And honestly, I'm gonna disagree with Aaron here. That's his media team. Like, Gavin Newsom is not writing these posts. Gavin Newsom is not involved with this like media stuff that's going on with his social media accounts. He has a team of social media people that run his accounts that do this stuff. Like, I would be super surprised if Newsom even cares about like the social media stuff. Like, he hires a team, he pays them money, and they perform a job for him. That's all it is. He's gained followers, driving news cycles, and picked fights where he knows he can land punches. On substance, he's also taking steps Democrats should applaud, leaning hard into California's redistricting fight after Texas's mid-cycle power grab, and pressing California universities not to cave to Trump administration's demands for monetary payments to the government and policy changes, including those for transgender people. Those moves are good, or at the very least, refreshing. I would say that those are like bare minimum. Like, I don't even think that those are like good. Like, I think that, like, first of all, the first thing here, him attacking Donald Trump online, like, yeah, every single Democrat, every single day should be hammering Donald Trump. Every single Democrat should be like pants on fire every day online attacking Donald Trump. And honestly, the fact that he's one of the few doing it is not something like, I'm not going to applaud Gavin Newsom for doing that. I'm going to like be mad at all the Democrats for not doing that. Like, he's doing the bare minimum, and I'm not going to give him credit for that. In his bid to win over the center and even peel off some of the right, which is a losing tactic, by the way, we have already found out that like appealing to the right over and over and over is a losing strategy. Running with Liz Cheney and like trying to win over these moderates is a freaking losing strategy. If they wanted to win elections, they would appeal to people like me. They would appeal to people like Hassan. They would appeal to their base, because that's what the right does, and they win elections with it. What ends up happening in elections is that the right will appeal to their base, they'll get their base out to vote, and the left will completely shatter the base's hopes and dreams so that no one goes out and votes. And that's why we always end up with almost like a 50-50 race, because like if Democrats voted in mass, Democrats would always win. The only reason Democrats don't win is because Democrats are super disaffected and don't care and don't feel like there are people that actually represent their interests. He would never say any of that stuff to Donald Trump's face. Exactly. Exactly. But in his bid to win over the center and even peel off some of the right, Newsom has decided that at least one group can be sacrificed for his own political gain: transgender people. In the aftermath of the 2024 election, a handful of Democratic candidates and strategists settled on a convenient scapegoat: that it was transgender rights that cost Kamala Harris the presidency. The claim is dubious. Few voters rank transgender rights as a top priority, but that hasn't stopped would-be contenders from elevating it into a campaign plank. Centrist operatives, meanwhile, have been pushing behind the scenes to make this retreat the party's new direction. Someone in chat asked, who is your candidate then? Who is my candidate? No one, because there's no candidate. There are no candidates that are good on the left right now. And is it my job to hunt down someone who's going to be a good candidate? No. It's their job to find a candidate it's the party's job to win my vote. Like, why am I being held more responsible for the party's failure than the party? Like, the Democrats are complete and total failures at every single level. Every single level. And it's not my fault. And I don't deserve to be blamed for that. Like, just because they have earned my disrespect, you know? I genuinely, like, if you're doing voter shaming in 2028, I think you just need to, like, shut up. Like, genuinely, voter shaming in 2028 when, like, they are clearly doing everything in their power to make it so that, like, the Democrats don't want to vote. Jeez. Anyway, Newsom's pivot came early, and it wasn't just rhetorical. Reporting earlier this year revealed that his office quietly worked behind the scenes to block or bury transgender protection bills in California. One measure requiring judges in custody disputes to consider whether parents affirm their LGBTQ plus children was vetoed outright. Lawmakers say others were discouraged from moving forward under pressure from the governor's office. This caution came precisely as red states were escalating their crackdowns, enacting increasingly hostile laws. California could be served as a bulwark, a safe ground, but instead Newsom hit the brakes. The rhetoric quickly followed. Newsom launched his podcast and began courting right-wing personalities. We're going to talk about the Charlie Kirk things in a second, but let me see here. Okay. Yeah, so let's jump over to this article real quick and talk about his conversation with Charlie Kirk. So he had this conversation with Charlie Kirk, and I'm not gonna read this whole article. I'm just gonna read some of the quoted sections here. The conversation first turned to transgender athletes when Charlie Kirk referenced a transgender athlete in California, stating, "You, as the governor, should step out and say no, no." Newsom responded, "Right. I think that it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It's deeply unfair," he says, with absolutely no backing. Later adding, "Boy, did I see how you guys were able to weaponize that issue." Kirk pushed back, insisting he wasn't weaponizing the issue. Newsom quickly walked back his comment, replying, "You're right. Highlight." He then later said that he agreed with Charlie Kirk that it was not right transgender athletes should play, and that he was completely aligned with Charlie Kirk on this issue, blaming a law put in place before he became governor. It turns out in 2014, years before I was governor, there was a law established that established the legal principles that allow trans athletes in women's sports. The issue of fairness is completely legit. I completely align with you on that. We have to acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge it. Like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? Like, this is one of the things that I hate the most about Democrats currently. It is because Democrats currently, they know literally nothing about trans issues. And so they're like, the second that there's any pushback, they just vanish. They just disappear. They run away. They run for the hills. Like, this is the thing that makes me the most mad about Democrats and left-leaning people. They will say they stand up for trans rights, but they will spend literally 0 time, 0 seconds, 0 minutes looking into this issue at all. They don't care about the science. They don't care about anything. They're just playing politics. Like, all they care about is how the polling shakes out. So rather than learning about the issues and standing on principles, what a lot of these people do is they wait until the polling comes out and they say, oh, people are, the wind is blowing this way, so I'm going to blow this way. Or the wind is blowing that way, so I'm going to blow that way. And not only does it make you look incredibly bad because you have no actual positions and you're just saying shit, but also, like you have a base that cares about stuff and you're just completely shitting all over them, and it's so dumb. So we're going to continue reading about this conversation with Charlie Kirk here. And then here is oh God, here's another thing. Let's keep reading some quotes here. The conversation didn't stop there. Charlie Kirk quickly pivoted to other transgender issues, bringing up Vice President Kamala Harris's support for incarcerated transgender people, which was just a statement that she made in 2019 about the law that is currently, or that was in place under Trump and Biden. Newsom agreed that the Kamala is for they them ads were politically damaging, calling them devastating. When asked about transgender incarcerated people, Newsom responded, this was even more challenging because this is issues of people who are incarcerated getting taxpayer-funded gender reassignment. Like, that is a 90-10 issue, referring to how he believes that such policies pull. He also appeared frustrated that Harris was in the video and expressed support. My guy, like, you are just, you don't even know anything about these issues. This stuff was happening under Trump, and it's like, it's healthcare. It's healthcare for people. At the close of the podcast, Charlie Kirk shifted the discussion to transgender healthcare, stating, I encourage you to learn about the butchery that is happening under chemical castration in this state. The American people are overwhelmingly against it. Newsom responded, yeah, I think we have to be more sensitized to that. Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot to consider your bigotry. See, this is the thing that makes me so mad. Like, Newsom is willing to sit here and give space to these bigots. He's willing to sit here and give credence and, oh, you're so right. Oh, Charlie Kirk, I'm so sorry. We should have listened to you all along. It's all my fault. I'm such a big, dumb, stupid head. Thank you for showing me the way, Charlie Kirk. Can you please give me the wisdom of the ages, Charlie Kirk? If only I were you. If only I knew what you knew. Like, he is licking Charlie Kirk's asshole right now, but he refuses to give an inch to his base. He refuses to give a millimeter to the people that he's supposed to be representing. It is just, I'm going to get extremely angry, and I'm sorry if my anger becomes a little bit unhinged, but I am so over this guy. I am so through with his bullshit, and I am okay. So Newsom's invitation and capitulation to Charlie Kirk and his podcast will alarm advocates. Kirk has a well-documented history of extremist rhetoric and hostility. In a 2023 video, he stated, "These people are sick. I blame the decline of American men. Someone should have just took care of it the way we used to take care of things in the 1950s and 60s. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? All right, so let's go back to this article here, the main article, and keep reading. So the rhetoric followed. Newsom launched his podcast, began courting people with like Charlie Kirk. Newsom declared he was completely aligned with Kirk on trans issues. He blamed a 2014 California law protecting transgender equality for allowing trans teens to compete while discussing a transgender runner. He also joined Kirk in targeting transgender incarcerated people and agreed that society must be more sensitized to what Kirk called butchery. As we've seen before, rhetoric quickly translated into policy. The California Interscholastic Federation issued a new rule targeting the transgender track and field athlete who had transitioned young. She could no longer place as any other girl would. Instead, whatever place she earned would be duplicated and shared with the next highest cisgender competitor. The results show the absurdity. Records for AB Hernandez long jump now list 2 second place winners, one cisgender and one transgender, and Hernandez was first forced to share the podium. Newsom swiftly endorsed the policies, stating that he was encouraged by it. And as we've seen before, targeting transgender people never stays confined to sports. Sports are simply the entry point, a wedge to justify broader anti-trans policy, just as they would have been since the beginning of the modern debate over transgender rights. Newsom then appeared on the Sean Ryan Show, another far right-wing podcast, where he expanded his rhetoric. He downplayed transgender people's pronouns. We're going to talk about that as well. But I am actually going to BRB super fast. So I'm gonna BRB just real quick. So just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I had to run to the bathroom real quick. All right, let me sorry, I'm reading chat. Okay. Um okay, okay. All right, here we go. So, we're going to talk about this podcast that he went on. Was it a podcast or is it a yeah, this podcast. All right, so we're going to talk about this podcast that he went on with the Sean Ryan Show podcast. Nonetheless, he appeared to double down on the sentiment and then some in this week on the Sean Ryan Show podcast. The whopping 4-hour conversation, which was not exclusively about LGBT issues, started by questioning the participation of trans athletes in women's sports, cascaded into sowing doubt about evidence-based gender-affirming care, and landed on fake news about schools providing litter boxes to kids who say they are animals. Newsom emphasized that he thinks conservatives are exploiting and weaponizing rhetoric about trans kids, but that hasn't stopped him from feeding into it. Intentionally or not, Newsom has lent his Democratic branding and credibility to entertain the musings of anti trans actors. Meanwhile, the far right has openly admitted to manufacturing a crisis around trans athletes to serve as a beginning point and get opponents of the LGBT movement comfortable with talking about transgender issues. On the latest podcast, this meandering conversation started on America's so-called masculinity crisis, a reference to real problems facing boys and men, such as higher rates of suicide and social isolation, or a nod to conservative pearl clutching about the perceived feminization of American boys, depending on who you ask. Most of these kids, many of them who are not even having sexual relations with other women, Newsom said. The conversation went from lamenting how American youth don't have enough sex to hand-wringing about whether LGBT rights movement may be pushing sexuality onto kids. Speaking of sexuality and divisiveness, Ryan said, one of the things in the last administration that really divided people was gender-affirming care. They incorrectly equated sexual orientation and gender identity, leading to a conversation about what Newsom called the trans issue. That's now no longer about celebrating your rights, it's about denying other people theirs, Newsom said. Marriage equality was about everyone's right, but your child may not have the same opportunity to get on the podium if a trans athlete is competing. Disgusting. Disgusting. So disgusting. Like, first of all, if you listen to the right wing, if you give any credence to the right wing about the stuff that's going on with gender affirming care and trans issues and stuff, then, like, what did they say about marriage? They said that it was taking away the sanctity of marriage. They said that marriage equality was taking away the sanctity of marriage from other people. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, you're just Science shows no one biological attribute, including sex, fundamentally determines one athletic success. For every let me try that again. Science shows no one biological attribute, including sex, fundamentally determines one's athletic success. For every Leah Thomas or A.B. Hernandez winning medals, there are countless other trans athletes across the country whose names are unknown, athletes who average below or below average. Like all people, trans athletes' abilities vary greatly, but athletes at all ages and ranks are being attacked by anti-trans activists in the name of sport, in the name of sport, from gold medal Olympians to children playing Little League. Newsom's rhetoric also falsely implies that the rights of trans women and girls are innately in competition with those of presumed cis people. In reality, anti-trans vitriol routinely leads to violence against everyone. It fuels witch hunts against even athletes accused of being trans, such as the case with Aman Khalif. Like, I feel like Democrats have lost sight of stuff like that so quickly. Like, the election happened, and all of a sudden, like, people just lose sight of everything that's important. Like, what happened with Aman Khalif? Like, I'm not sure I'm saying her name right, so I apologize if I'm saying the name wrong. But, like, she is a cis woman. she's a cis woman, and she is being attacked as if she were a trans woman. And it's just like, if you don't see how these attacks against trans women, like, it is an issue of fairness. It's an issue of fairness against all women, including trans women. Like, and it's the right wingers who are perpetuating the unfairness. It's the right wingers who are creating a situation that discriminates against women. Like, they're all of these sport whatevers, like all of these organizations that are involved with sports were literally like handling the situation. They were creating rules and regulations. They were handling it. There was no issue. This is not an issue. They're turning it into an issue because they're right wingers and they want to have a mental breakdown over it. Newsom's rhetoric also falsely implies that the right of trans women and girls are innately in competition. We read that. It has resulted in death threats, anti-trans harassment, and doxing campaigns against countless young girls, both cis and trans. After one such case in Newsom's own state, where the young athlete A.B. Hernandez overcame literal angry mobs over her participation in youth sports, the California Interscholastic Federation amended its rules for a so-called compromise, giving a consolation spot to any presumed cis girl who lost to a presumed trans one. Newsom said CIF's rule change is not the answer. It's not wholly clear what he thinks the answer is, but the appeasement was never a winning play. Even as Newsom broke the Democratic Party line to question trans inclusion, the Trump administration sued the state, claiming the compromise was too affirming of trans people. Too affirming of trans people. Are you serious? and I'm sure Gavin he'll just keep giving more ground. He'll just keep giving more ground to these people. Naturally, Ryan's line of questioning didn't stop with sports. He suddenly turned to the idea of trans kids in general. Is 8 years old too young? Oh my god, dude. I can't. Like, the amount of ignorance that happens in these conversations is so mind-bending. Like, these people have so much power, and yet they have so little information. They know so little about trans healthcare or trans rights or sports or any of this shit. And they are speaking straight out of their asshole. Like, their mouth is not moving. Their asshole is going 1,000,000 miles per minute. And it's just like, I might have an aneurysm right now. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying so hard not to have an aneurysm. The trans issue for me is so novel, Newsom said. I'm trying to understand as much as anyone else the whole pronoun thing. No, you're not. You literally, the statement that he just made contradicts what he just said. He literally said, it's so novel. It's not novel. It's been something that has been around for a while. And if you read the science, if you read the research, maybe you wouldn't be struggling so hard to wrap your pretty little mind around this pronoun thing. Oh, in the year 2026, people want to use pronouns. What even is a pronoun, Webster? I have no idea. Please help me. I'm just a poor little Gavin Newsom. I just don't understand any of this twan stuff. Okay. Newsom added that gender-affirming care for children is a tough topic that, while some constituents have told him it saved their children's life, he also read reports like the one in the UK just came out with, a likely reference to the widely rebuked and highly propagandized caste review. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, his constituents say, hey, gender-affirming care saved my child's life. This is life-saving health care. And then he'll turn around and he'll look at some fake ass report that's built on a bunch of bullshit, and he'll say, well, I'm seeing both sides of the issue here. You're telling me that this is life-saving healthcare. You're having, okay, life-saving healthcare, but also this debunked and terrible study came out that it reviews a bunch of studies and comes to a bunch of conclusions. But I'm not going to look farther into that. I'm just going to buy it all at face value. Newsom did not weigh in on the common use of gender-affirming care for cis children. Gender-affirming hormone treatment is never given to young children except in cases of precocious puberty, where it is the standard protocol for anyone regardless of their gender or identity. Gender-affirming surgery is also never performed on trans children this young, but unnecessary genital surgery on intersex youth often is. Yeah, here's the thing that they never want to talk about. Like, they want to talk about trans healthcare, but they never talk about gender-affirming care for cis people. They never talk about how young women get breast reductions or sometimes breast implants before they are 18, and how men will get like what's like top surgery, basically, like they have gyno or something, so they get that removed. That's gender affirming care. Or they have precocious puberty and they're given puberty blockers. Like, you don't see these people having a mental breakdown over cis people on puberty blockers. It's only when it's trans kids on puberty blockers, suddenly this is life or death. Suddenly everyone needs to freak out over the potential harms of puberty blockers. But we can still give it to cis kids. Don't worry about the cis kids. It's only if you're trans. That is what makes it discrimination. The fact that they only apply these standards to trans people. And like, all of this is just flying over Gavin Newsom's head. He's talking to these people, and the right answers are just flying over his head, and he is just, again, Gavin Newsom, his eyes, his ears, his mouth, it's all closed. It's all his asshole. His asshole is just flailing in the wind. It's just... Ryan and Newsom agreed that human brains are not fully developed until age 26. The number anti-trans activists often cite in policy proposals to eradicate evidence-based healthcare for trans youth. There are no major, reputable medical organizations that endorse this policy, and no states have adopted it into law, but Puerto Rico is considering a GAC ban to the age of 21 years old. And honestly, this is something that I want to talk about. Like, so I saw an article recently where, like, they're discussing how this is, like, all about this thing called radicalized incrementalism. And essentially, radicalized incrementalism is, like, they understand that they're not going to be able to take all of our rights away all at once. And so they're going to slowly, like, dig away at our rights over and over until eventually they take it all away. And so, like, all of this stuff, they're just ceding ground over and over, and it's not going to stop. Like, they're not going to stop taking away our rights at children. Like, okay, you say that you have to be 18 years old to get gender affirming care, and then they're going to raise it to 21, and then they're going to raise it to 26, and then they're going to ban it forever. Like, there's a pathway that they are working on, and they have admitted it outright that they want to ban it for everybody. Finally, and perhaps most disturbingly, Ryan compared trans kids to Furbies who are showing up in school in a kennel and using litter boxes. He might mean furries, an internet subculture where people dress up in colorful animal costumes, which is often falsely and pejoratively conflated with transness. Furbies are a popular singing owl toy from the early aughts. Yeah, so... yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back to the main article here. So they talk about the stuff that happened in the podcast. He downplayed transgender people's pronouns, saying, "I'm trying to understand as much as anyone else." The whole pronoun thing. On medical care, he leaned on the CAS review, discredited report, speculated that 25 might be too early for someone to transition. Yeah, you can't serve the country until you're 18. You can't buy a gun. You can't serve alcohol until you're 21. And I mean, to make that big of a decision as a kid, said Sean Ryan. Totally get it, Newsom said. He could also be destroying a lot of lives as well. Your brain isn't fully developed, continued Ryan. You got it, until 26, so that's even further with the brain. Look, I come to this very much more open-minded than I've ever been. More receptive. More receptive to the right-wing point of view. Sure. Because a lot of the pushback come from folks that I didn't respect. That never respected the gay community, period. People opposed to basic rights. So the natural inclination was to just dismiss. But now I recognize more fully and deeply, and I think the sports issue really opened that up for me. Oh my God, this statement says it all right here. Says it all. Oh, I discredited initially. I didn't trust any of you people because you know, like, you hate gay people and, like, you're opposed to basic human rights. But then you know what? You know what? The more that I thought about it, the more I realized that maybe you hate gay people, but you really just want what's best for the children. You know? You really just want, like, it's not about bigotry with trans people. Like, you hate gay people, but you don't hate trans people. You just don't want them to exist. And now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm letting it stew around in my shitty little brain, I'm coming to this conclusion, and it's really making sense. Newsom is following a pipeline transgender people have seen time and time again. Transphobia rarely stays confined to one small corner. It's almost never just a one-off statement. Those who embrace it even slightly almost always end up sliding further into opposition to nearly every facet of the transgender experience. We watched this radicalization play out with comedians, child book authors, tech billionaires, and more. It's a pattern so well known that even anti trans activists acknowledge it. Harry Schilling of the Republican American Principles Project once admitted as much. The women's sports issue was really the beginning point in helping expose all of this because what it did was it got the opponents of the LGBT movement comfortable with talking about transgender issues. Some may argue, as they often do when transgender people raise concerns about Newsom, that the alternative would be worse. In many respects, Trump or whatever Trump-like candidate emerges in 2028 would be worse than Newsom on a host of issues. But even here, for transgender people, the calculation is not so straightforward. Right now, the community has one thing going for it. One major political party still passes protective legislation and has not joined the litany of anti-trans policies escalating in red states. If that fragile dichotomy collapses, if Democrats decide that transgender people can be sacrificed for political gain, the result will not be a lesser evil. It will be a political consensus that our rights are gone and the outcome could be even worse. See, it's not about like, oh, lesser of two evils. Like, if he becomes just as anti-trans as the Republican, then it's not a left or right issue. One only has to look at the United Kingdom to see what happens when both major parties decide transgender people are expendable. For years, right-leaning parties targeted trans people relentlessly while Labour offered tepid, lukewarm support. Sound familiar? In the lead up to recent elections, that support collapsed. Multiple Labor leaders determined that trans people were safe to sacrifice, culminating in the party's leader's now famous declaration that he does not believe transgender women are women. Today, the country is pursuing a nationwide bathroom ban, and trans care has been practically outlawed. Trans youth care has been practically outlawed. In a political environment where both left and right agree that your existence is negotiable, there is no one left to fight for you. It is untenable. And if such sentiment takes root inside the Democratic Party, it could take generations for transgender Americans to claw back even the most basic of rights. That's why this is important. That's why we have to resist Newsom. That's why we have to resist the Democratic Party shifting on all of these. Like we cannot let the Democratic Party give an inch on this. Transgender people have watched this performance before. We know exactly where it leads. Whatever one thinks of Newsom as a politician or a future candidate, it is crucial to understand that for many in our community, his rise provokes as much fear as the Republican Party itself. The damage he can inflict in some ways is greater. Republicans attacking us keep allies on alert, ready to resist. But when Democrats begin to adopt the same rhetoric, the resistance dissolves. Transphobia inside the party is not a treatable wound inflicted by the far right. It is a malignancy, slowly moving but devastating, one that threatens to hollow out decades of progress from within. If it spreads unchecked, it could mark the end of so much our community has fought to preserve. So yeah, that's the article I wanted to talk about. That is, yeah, yeah. That So I really just wanted to talk about this because I see so much conversation happening right now. There are people who are already deploying the vote blue no matter who. There are people that are already voter shaming. There are people that are already really attacking people who are even giving tepid criticisms of like people like Newsom, who he's not even the primary candidate right now. Like we don't even know who the primary candidate is gonna be. And yet people like a lot of neoliberal people are supremely offended that anyone is even having concerns or questions about this guy. And so I'm really frustrated by this. Like I saw some pushback in chat and I wanted to I wanted to I wanted to mention that. So Quinn said, I happen to be in Ohio right now and I hate this condition. You should direct your hate towards your own governor, yeah? Not exonerating Newsom. Just wondering where your energy is directed. So I can't do anything about the super majority that the Republicans have in Ohio. And also, actually, DeWine has vetoed multiple anti-trans things. So like DeWine has like actually stood up for trans rights, possibly more than Newsom has. And like that's a thing, because like the legislature in Ohio are the ones that are like rabidly right wing. They're the ones that are passing all of these horrible dystopian things. And DeWine actually vetoed a number of those policies, a number of those anti-trans bills and policies. Like, so he might actually be better than Newsom on trans rights at this point. Like, he might be better, which is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So like I think this is a worthwhile conversation. I don't think that I'm wasting my energy. I don't think that it's worthwhile. Like I'm not taking energy away from some other conversation just because I want to talk about the fact that Newsom is not going to be good for the future of the Democratic Party. He's not going to be good. So I wanted to talk about this because I see all the conversation online, and I wanted to throw my 2 cents in as someone who's trans, as a queer individual. If you are a part of the LGBTQ community, you should hate Gavin Newsom. You should refuse to vote for him, and you should not let anybody tell you any different. If someone tries to voter shame you, you simply respond by saying, it is not my job to bail out a politician who doesn't earn my vote. It is not my job to care more about optics and winning than the party who is running like the candidate. Like it is their job to convince us to vote for them. It is their job to put a politician on the ballot who is worth voting for. And if they don't do that, you cannot voter shame people. Like I'm going to make a video soon. I'm going to make a video talking about, as leftists, what we need to do moving forward, the kind of attitude that we need to have moving forward. And I'm going to give very specific advice about strategy. I'm going to give very specific advice about like what is appropriate moving forward and what is not appropriate. Voter shaming, we like this vote blue no matter who, this voter shaming, it needs to be dead. We need it. We need this cannot exist. If we have any desire for things to get better, if we want our country to get off of this total destruction like path that it's on, then we cannot accept just whoever they decide to shove our way. Like that is how neoliberalism survives. That is how the decline of the country continues. And the only way that we are going to make a difference is if we stand in their way, and demand better. Like, honestly, if in 2028 they run Newsom versus JD Vance and Newsom loses, that might be the nail in the coffin for a lot of these, like, you know, these politicians, these neoliberal politicians. Like, if they run Newsom in 28 after a historically dystopian presidency, and then they lose to JD Vance, I mean, the entire Democratic Party might as well dissolve at that point. Like, at that point, you might as well just say, okay, we failed, goodbye, and then just become like the second Republican Party. Like they should just rebrand at that point. Um, like I genuinely, I really hope that we can do some sort of takeover of the Democratic Party. Like I know that we've been getting more progressive candidates elected, and that's good. I like to see more progressive candidates getting in there and shaping, changing the shape of the Democratic Party from within. But at the same time, like I don't know, like I don't know. There's really no good solution to any of this. Anyway, this video is already super long. I just wanted to be angry about Gavin Newsom and share that a thought and opinion with you. If you disagree with me, if you think I'm being stupid or politically ineffective or irresponsible or whatever, then all I would say to you is show me a good candidate and I promise you I'll vote for them. You show me a good candidate who stands for my values, who will protect my rights, who actually cares about the middle class and cares about humanity and cares about the people of America instead of the corporate class. I will be on that shit so fast. But if you run someone like Gavin Newsom, I am not here for that. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to keep this short. Do all the things that you would normally do for a video, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. That would be super amazing. I would really appreciate that. Huge shout out to all my Patreon people. You all are so wonderful. Honestly, I could not be doing this without all of you. So thank you so much. If you are contributing on my Patreon, you are the best. I got some names popping up on screen right now. I really appreciate that. Thank you all so very much for helping. Very, very kind of you. And now I'm going to shout out my top tier supporters. So we have Sleepy Kayla, Art, Katie Starr, William the Conqueror, Jean Foray, Gwen Vaughn, Kendra Brooks, Andrea Uhara, Kira, Sophie's Left Florida, Ultraviolet Vadu, Cassidy, Kate, Fiona Dobson, Cal Fiore, Trisha Pissafred, Kitty Bug, Sarah J. Buck, Nikki Notzel, Sam Howard. So thank you all so very much. I really appreciate it. I genuinely could not be doing this without all of you. And so it means so much to me that you're all willing to support me. Like I love you all. Thank you all so very much. And make sure that you drink some water. Drink yourself some water, okay? Drink some water. All right. So that's the video. I'm gonna cut over to this desktop cam. Let me turn off my camera. Oh, you don't need to see my creator page on Patreon. Okay. Oh, I can take my mask off. Oh my gosh. Oh, it started to get. It's really hard. It's really hard to record a video from inside of a mask. It started to get kind of moist in there near the end. Near the end of things. So there were some people who were asking. I know that someone asked, like, who's your candidate? Like, I don't have a candidate. Like, they have to. They need to provide us a candidate that's worth voting for. Oh, let me see what she said here. I know a lot of mainline Dems read my publication, so for those of you who are skeptical of my argument here because of my role as a transgender journalist, know that I endorsed Kamala Harris for president. The critiques I levy against Newsom are very particular to him. He poses a unique danger that I cannot stay silent on. Huge. Oh, I can't like that. Yeah, I mean, I agree 100% with Aaron on all of this. Mask off is like taking the bra off. Yeah, no, it feels really nice. So Ashamar says, you say that though, then they whine about wanting purity politics. Like having a decent human as a candidate is the bare minimum and they can't even accomplish that. No, that is so true. Thank you for bringing that up. That is so true. Like they can't even run someone that people like. Like they're not even able to put a candidate in running who people like. You know, and like, that's our fault. Like they want to complain about purity politics when they can't even run a good candidate. Like, okay. If Newsom loses to Vance, we're totally fucked. No other discussion. See you all in Dachau, El Salvador or whatever. No, well, see, you're wrong. See, that's the thing is that you're wrong. Because like we are living under Trump right now. and I'm not in the concentration camp yet. And like, if you think that JD Vance is gonna push harder on this stuff than Trump, then I just think that you're wrong. Like, yes, JD Vance is gonna be transphobic. If JD Vance became president, it would look exactly like this presidency. We would like most of these attacks are happening on a state level. Like most of the transgender anti-trans bills are like done at a state level. So the president actually makes literally no difference in that. The president makes no difference in that. And like, if you think that like JD Vance is going to be significantly worse than Newsom, you're wrong, because they're both going to be bad. They're both going to be really bad if they get elected. I can't think of anyone better than Al Green. I don't know how old he is, but I feel like he's probably too old, although he has been pretty based lately. I don't know much about his history, though, so I can't really say much about him. AOC needs to take Schumer's spot. We need a good candidate to run for pres. Yeah, I think AOC would be better taking leadership over than running for president, for sure. Like trying to take over the Senate leadership or something. God, the talk about Newsom and the people getting angry over those not supporting him, it reminds me of Graham Plattner. I completely hate Trump Vance. Freddie over Trump. If JD Vance became president, then we'll have a bunch of little couches running around the Oval Office. JD would care less about trans people. All of the working class would be in labor camps to pay off your life debt to the techno monarchs. Yes. Like I'm trying to think of like the most succinct way to put this. Like I'm trying to think of like the how I can put this that will be like super, super, super clear. If we get JD Vance in 2028 and he wins running on this campaign, like this is basically I'm basically reiterating what Aaron said here, but I'm trying to distill the message down into as simple a point as I can. If Newsom runs on actually trans people are evil and we should hate them and we should take their rights around, like or take their rights away. If he runs on that and wins, the Democratic Party will permanently abandon us forever. Forever. If JD Vance wins and hates trans people and, continues being a bigot like he is, and the Republican Party continues what it's doing, which it's already doing without JD Vance, it's not like JD Vance would suddenly trigger the actual he's not going to trigger anything that's going to be significantly worse than what we're already experiencing. And let me be clear that we experience this stuff under Democratic presidents too. During Biden, we had historic anti-trans legislation like introduced into different state houses. Like we had 800 bills a year getting introduced under Biden. So if you think that Biden actually did anything significantly good for trans people, he didn't. He signed one fucking executive order with Title IX protections, and then he washed his hands of it, and he said, "Oh, there we are. Good. I did one little thing. I gave you a spittle of the hope for human rights, but I'm not going to actually do." Like, he didn't do anything to actually protect us from this bullshit. So if you think that like Newsom versus JD Vance is going to be some kind of significantly different situation, you're literally just wrong. The only thing that would be different is if we had a Democrat who's willing to pass protections into law for trans people. If we had someone running who was like, hey, I think that we need to pass protections into law for trans people. That way they're not used as a political football for all time. First of all, I think that would be popular. I think a lot of people would vote for someone like that who basically says like, hey, we need to bury this political discussion around trans people. We need to say that like this is not something that we should be doing long term. Like this should not be something that we let continue long term. If we had someone like that, like if we had someone who was willing to pass protections into law, that would be a significant difference. JD Vance versus Newsom, there's no difference. There is no difference. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if Newsom became president, I think that he would keep the executive order in place. I think he would keep the anti-trans executive order in place. I think he would. I don't think he would repeal it. I don't think he would. Like, I think literally JD Vance versus Newsom, if JD Vance got elected, maybe we would have a chance at radicalizing the Democratic Party enough to support an actual progressive candidate who would stand up for our rights. Oh dear, good luck, y'all. Quinn, I always appreciate you chatting, you being here, the support that you generally give. I appreciate that, but I feel that in this issue, you are needlessly smug about this bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, but you need to provide me evidence that vote blue no matter who is a good thing and that it worked. Like the burden of proof is on you to convince me and everyone else that vote blue no matter who is actually necessary and worthwhile and good. And the evidence does not point in that direction. Like, it's not just like this like it's not just a priori true. Like it's not just like a given that we have to like elect anyone who runs under the Democratic ticket, no matter how anti-trans they are. Like that's not good strategy. Like we need to be responsive to what's going on in reality. And what's going on in reality is that this guy fucking hates trans people and he's willing to throw us under the bus to try to get elected because he thinks it's going to win him over moderate voters, which is the strategy that has lost Democrats against Trump twice. If people like Gavin Newsom didn't exist, we might not have had the fucking, like, either Trump presidency. Like, it is people like Gavin Newsom who are literally at fault for us being here in the first place. If Hillary Clinton and neoliberalism hadn't handed the presidency to Trump in the first term, he might not have popularized anti-trans bigotry as a mainstay in Republican politics, which would have ended this conversation before it even fucking started. So I don't want to fucking hear it that like that Gavin, we just have to accept this piece of shit. Like I'm sorry I'm getting angry. I care very deeply about this, and like this guy makes me so mad. Like we all know why Donald Trump hates trans women, because he knows at the bottom of his heart that they're always going to be bigger than him. Best thing, Republicans are turning on each other. Yeah, at this point, we need to do a checklist to check off and do vetting on a candidate that will actually get it done. Yeah, no, red fire, blue ice. I think that that's a really good point. We need to have actual vetting. We need to have sort of like we need to have a list that basically says, I expect, at a bare minimum, I expect this, and this. Like, we need to have a list that basically says, like, you know, trans rights are non-negotiable. Like, non-negotiable. Like, a lot of things are a billionaire tax, non-negotiable. Like honestly, we need a historically powerful wealth tax. Like, we need people, the billionaires should cease to exist. And we should not accept any less than that. Like, I genuinely, like, I am to the point where it's like, if it's a neoliberal versus like an alt-right conservative, you are essentially running a conservative versus a more conservative. The Democratic Party, people like Gavin Newsom, are literally Bush-era neoconservatives. Like, they are almost indistinguishable from conservatives 20 years ago. Almost indistinguishable. And so, like, spare me the fucking, the arrogance on, like, him being, and as I said before, like, we're allowed to disagree on stuff. We're allowed to have disagreements. That's totally fine. And if anything, right now is the time for disagreement. I am making it very clear. I am putting up a bunch of red flags, and I am trying to warn the Democratic Party that they are walking towards disaster. I'm trying to warn the Democratic Party that if they run this guy, we are so fucked. We are so fucked if they run this guy. And like, if they want to listen to my advice, fine. If they don't want to listen to my advice, we are so fucked. He's throwing trans people under the bus and climbing on top of the corpses by choice. He's grown. He's an assumed adult until proven otherwise. Exactly. It's not my job to give him benefits of the doubt, even though he's shown us time and time again that he's not on our side. Trans rights, non-negotiable. Bodily autonomy rights and access to abortion, non-negotiable. Wealth cap, non-negotiable. Wavering from this is automatic expulsion from the position. Yeah, exactly. I think they are complicit. It's controlled opposition. They serve the same capital interests. They want the Trump. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, if you look at, like, I'm not saying every Democratic politician is like this, because obviously there are some Democratic politicians who stand in stark contrast to this. But if you look at Schumer's and you look at Jeffries, like, they were okay with Maduro being kidnapped. They are okay with the war against Iran. They are okay with literally everything that Trump is doing. It's like, it's a matter of strategy. Like literally Jeffries and Schumer would endorse everything Trump is doing, except for the fact that he's doing it in such a mean way, you know? Like, God. Like, it is definitely controlled opposition. I think that at this point, the Democratic Party is absolutely complicit in what's going on, because if they weren't serving the capital class, if they weren't completely bought and paid for, then they would actually be standing up in resistance to what is fucking going on. But the level of silence and complacency that we are seeing from the Democratic Party is evidence of the fact that they don't care. They've never cared. All they want to do is serve the lobbyists. All they want to do is serve their corporate interests. And it's more about not rocking the boat for them. Like, that's all they care about. Don't forget accountability for all of this: fascist regimes, crimes, and impeaching them. Yeah, in a country that made sense, these people would be in jail. In a country that made sense, Trump would already be in jail. Like, Merrick Garland, like, supremely fumbled the ball. Like, and that's another thing. Under Biden, was there accountability for any of these people? No. Like, Biden let Trump win the second time, not necessarily Biden entirely, partially because he tried to hold on to power and didn't, like, pass on the ticket. He didn't do a primary, even though he said he was going to. And it just they literally let Donald Trump get away with an insurrection so that he could become president a second time. If anything, it's like they helped him. Like they literally helped him. Remember Bernie? Yes, we're fucked, but extreme progressives lost us a margin. Oh, I'm sorry, Quinn. I just fundamentally disagree with you on so many levels with that. Like, we are not going to see eye to eye on this. Like, I don't even want to argue with you about it, because, like, I genuinely, like, I appreciate you and I respect you, and I'm not trying to, like, to burn a bridge with you over this, but I feel like if we keep going back and forth, like, the aggravation is just going to keep mounting, and I don't want to do that. But, like, fundamentally, I disagree with you, because Bernie was about to win, and he would have won if the DNC didn't cheat him out of the position. Like, literally, the DNC handed the nomination to Hillary because they wanted to. And honestly, I believe that if Bernie had won the nomination, we would have won that election. Bernie would have beaten Trump hands down. hands down, like 100%. No questions asked at all. It is because the DNC stole the nomination from Bernie and handed it to Hillary. That is the only reason. Like, that is part of the reason why we are in the timeline we are in right now. So I'm sorry. I just disagree with you fundamentally. I respect um your freedom to disagree with me. Like, you're more than welcome to disagree with me in chat. I'm not the kind of person. I'm not going to ban people for disagreeing with me. I'm not going to, whatever, but I do withhold the right to disagree with people and to say my piece. So I'm going to try to jump off of that because I don't want to again. Thank you to first time chatters, by the way. We have DJT. I wonder what that's what that's a reference to. Um, Thank you for chatting. I said we had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election and everyone knows it, especially the other side. DJT, I don't know if you are a right winger or if you're talking about the 2024 election. Like, I genuinely cannot tell if you're talking about, like, Elon Musk using Starlink to steal the election for Donald Trump the second time, or if you're talking about um the 2020 election and you're a Republican. Like, I just can't tell based on your comment. Hideous timeline? Yeah, honestly, it is a hideous timeline that we're living in. It's really disgusting. Hate to see it. Kamala lost, ignoring LGBTQ plus, ignoring Gaza too, ignoring economic affordability. DNC has still not learned. Exactly. Yeah, Kamala lost. Wow, like she almost, like, I think Kamala Harris mentioned trans people only when forced. It was only when she was confronted on it, and even then, her support was like really tepid. She was like, "Oh, oh." So yeah. Sheesh. Sorry, I'm not wearing my eyeglasses. Wait, what are you apologizing for? Oh, you typoed. I see. Okay, no worries. Oh boy. All right. So I am late on my injection, and I'm late on my injection. I really need to go do that. Oh my gosh, we hit 100 followers on Twitch. Oh my gosh, Blueberry Bagel, you are my 100th follower on Twitch. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. I love to see it. I love to see Twitch growing. Hog, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We are trying to work towards partner on Twitch, which is going to take a really long time. Twitch partner is a long grind, but I want to get there. And I think we can get there. I think it's totally possible. I think it's super doable. I don't see any issues with it. But it's only with support from people like you that it's possible. So I really appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. How would you go about implementing a wealth cap as government policy? I'm with you on the first two. I think a wealth tax would achieve the same as the third. Just not sure what you mean. So, the Sun. I wanted to mention real quick about wealth tax. Here, let me pop over here. I just want to take my mask off real quick. Oh my gosh. Oh, so much better. Okay, so we used to have a progressive taxation system in this country. This country used to have a progressive taxation system, and actually, let me so let's see here. Oh, let me sorry, you guys can't see my 1 second. Okay, so I'm looking up this thing. We have like the progressive taxation stuff. So here we are. We have World War I and II. This is the part that I am talking about right here. Top marginal tax rates soared, reaching 94% during World War II on income over $200,000 or 2.4 million in 2009 dollars. So nowadays that's probably closer to like $5 million. So essentially up to $5 million you would make, you would get to keep like I don't know if people here know how tax brackets work, but like below $5 million you're not at 94%. So you're keeping the majority of what you make under $5 million, but over the $5 million or whatever it is in today's dollars, you are taxed at 94%, which means that like 94% of the money that you're making over that amount gets taxed at 94%. Like it's they're taking most of your money at that over that amount, which I think is totally like that's how we were able to afford the social safety nets. That's how we were able to afford Social Security. That's how Social Security was built on this shit. Under Franklin D. Roosevelt, the top rate peaked at 90% in the 1940s, used to fund social programs and war efforts. Like, it is because we have gotten rid of this that we can no longer afford Social Security. If we brought back top marginal tax rates to the level that they were at during the early 1900s, then we would be able to afford, like, no one would go hungry, homelessness would not be an issue, like we would be able to solve like basically every problem in the entire country if we brought this back. Like, this is the solution. Like, the solution, not one of the solutions, not a possible solution. This is the solution. The only people who are hurt by this are the rich people. And honestly, I don't even think that the rich people are hurt by it because it creates a stable society and a stable economy so that they can continue to survive and benefit from it. Like, honestly, rich people nowadays, like billionaires and millionaires, they are basically suicidal. Like, they are driving us off a cliff and they're at the wheel, right? So, like, if they actually cared about their future and cared about the future of the world and the country and everything, then they would want a top marginal tax rate so that the country would stabilize, so that they wouldn't so that, people wouldn't swarm their so they wouldn't have to build bunkers, you know? Um, she got asked about trans healthcare and was all, I'll leave it to the states or some shit. Yeah, exactly. Harris was not good on that. How do you inject? What is the best way? I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean, but if you do injections with hormone therapy, your pharmacy should provide you with injection training. So, like, if you have injection training, then you should know how to do it. Like, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not going to give you advice on on injections or injecting. Uh, USA debt is 40 trillion. USA yearly interest is 1 trillion. God. Oh, that's really dystopian. The top 1% of US taxpayers pay 40% of the total tax in this country, and that's not enough. And that's not enough. If you are in my chat doing wealth apologia, then you're so stupid. You're so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but if you think that standing up for the wealthy is like a good thing to do in the year of our Lord 2026, like, on both sides of the aisle, you're wrong and people hate you. We should be taxing the rich so, so much more than we are. Just doesn't let them hoard money anymore. Well, like, you can still hoard money even with a top marginal tax even with a top marginal tax rate. Let me be clear about this. So, it's everything over a certain amount of money you're taxed at like 94%, right? So, let's just say it's $5 million. I'm just gonna stick with that, right? So $5 million. Anything over $5 million, you're taxed at 90%. That means that you can still make $5 million a year And everything under the 5 million is taxed at, like, I don't know, what was it? Like 34% or something. So you're still making like $3 million a year or something like that. Like, if you're making $3 million a year, you're still amassing wealth. Like, you're still amassing insane amounts of wealth. It's just that you can't amass 10 million a year or 20 million a year or 40 million a year. You can only amass, you know, and this is all with income too. Like, it doesn't even count the fact that people can acquire assets that are worth insane amounts of money. Like, someone could buy a company worth $40 billion, and then all of a sudden their net worth has gone up $40 billion in 1 year or whatever. But like, in this situation, you can only, like, you can still do that, but in terms of income, you can only acquire a certain amount. So like, all of these CEOs and all of these people who are like basically paying themselves bonuses of like 10, 20, $30 million a year, that stuff would be taxed at an extremely high rate, but it's not being taxed at a high rate because over the years we have just completely fucked it. Like, I think the top tax rate is 37%. So you're paying 37% on like billions of dollars. Like, you're still pulling in so much money. So it's just we need top marginal tax rates to come back and have them at an extremely high level, so that people can't, like, so that we can have a functioning country. I mean, like, literally, it's just so that we can have a freaking country that isn't a total shit stain. Top 1% owns 80% of wealth. Top 1% owns 80% of wealth. They're just temporarily embarrassed millionaires. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I was looking at YouTube chat again. Okay, nothing happened on Twitch. Okay. My bad. Sorry. I always forget to swap back to restream chat. Musk should not be a trillionaire. True. I mean, it's still way less than being allowed to end up a billionaire. Yes, 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 that is true. It does make it less easy to accrue wealth. They always make the excuse that they can always hide it away outside the states. I'm like, that's a poor ass excuse. Yeah, like, these people act like like they act like FDR never existed. Like, they act like we never had a progressive taxation system that worked. Like, they act like it's impossible. Like, there were still millionaires back in the FDR era. There were still insanely rich people. It's not like rich people suddenly popped into existence after we lowered the tax rate. That's stupid. The bottom 50% of taxpayers pay 3% of the tax. If you have a problem with this, I can't possibly imagine why. Oh my God. Are you serious? So the people who own nothing should have to pay more. So you're saying that the poorest people in the country who can't afford food, who can't afford rent, who can't afford literally anything, they're living off the... Why do you think... Oh my God. Why do you think they can't afford to pay more than that? I don't know. Maybe it's because there's like no money for them to pay taxes. 50 million taxpayers pay zero income tax. Do you want to know why? Maybe that's because wages have stagnated for so long that 50 million people are not making enough money to be able to pay taxes. Like, how do you think that that's an argument for your position? 50 million people are wage slaves and so unable to make ends meet that they literally can't afford to pay taxes, so the government doesn't tax them. By the way, I'm one of those people. You want to know how much I make a year? Like $6,000 fucking dollars. My income is nothing. And so no, I probably am going to pay taxes because I'm self-employed, so like back when I was employed, like, by a company, I, I did have to pay taxes on my paychecks, and then I got a refund, right? Like, I'm not gonna get a refund anymore. So I probably will have to pay some amount of taxes, but it'll be extremely small because I can't, um, because I make, like, nothing. Okay, anyway, you're complaining about tax brackets, and now you're complaining about wages. You've just changed the subject. Dude, you're too fucking stupid to have this conversation with. I'm sorry, but you are a fucking idiot. If you think that the middle class should be paying more in taxes, their wages need to go up so that they're able to go up in tax brackets, so that they're able to pay more money on their taxes. Are you fucking stupid? If their wages don't go up, they don't go up in tax brackets, they don't pay more in taxes. If their wages go up, they go up in a tax bracket, they pay more in taxes. These things are inextricably linked. Like, I'm not gonna read any more of your chats, honestly. Like, you have just shown that you are beyond stupid. And, like, it's just not, cancel that bot. I'm not gonna lie, Rusty. They have been around long enough, and they have commented so many times and taxed so many times, or taxed, chatted so many times. Like, I think they might be a real person. They're just insanely stupid. So we have a progressive tax system. You do not understand what a progressive taxation system actually is. You are confusing a progressive taxation system with a taxation system that increases the amount it taxes as your wages go up. Like, let me just pull up. Hold on. I can't really find a good graph here. I was looking for a graph on tax brackets. Um, yeah, I can't find it. Um, yeah, we have such a good taxation system that the billionaires pay virtually nothing in taxes because they can afford lawyers who basically allow them to pay $0 in taxes. Like, if you have not seen the reports about people paying, like big massive companies paying like $0 in taxes, like Amazon, you have your head so buried in the sand. Not only in federal taxes, but we got state sales billing. Yeah. Yeah, and like and the middle class ends up paying more in state taxes, income tax, or sorry, sales tax and other things. The ultra wealthy end up disproportionately advantaged in this system, and that's just true. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap up here because I am late on my injection and I need to go do that really badly. Thank you all so much for liking the stream. We're at 66 likes, which is pretty incredible. And we got to 100 followers on Twitch, so that's also really incredible. I appreciate you all so much. I'm sorry that the stream went so late. I'm probably gonna have to do another, like, maybe instead of a gaming stream this week, I'll do another politics stream on Wednesday because I do want to talk about the Kansas thing, and I have more video ideas that I want to get recorded. So, there's a good chance that we will do news and politics on Wednesday as well. Just so I can, I can record that video and we could talk more about stuff. I just didn't really get time to. Also got to do my shot. Good luck, Queen. Oh yeah, good luck with yours as well. Um, I for sure need to go do that. I'm gonna try to do it really quickly. Like just I always try to like make sure like what really sucks with injections is when you start like when you're hovering over and you're like shit and you like start hesitating, like you just have to do it. You just have to like boom and just do it. And yeah. Anyway, thank you all so very much for the wonderful stream. I really appreciate it. And I will be back Wednesday with another one. So I hope to see you all there, or I hope that you all enjoy the can I show it? No, I cannot show myself doing an injection. Nor would I want to. Nor would I want to. Anyway, thank you all so much. Love you all, appreciate you all. Thank you. And make sure you drink some water. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.